So tonight I have two words in my vocabulary that are bothering me, and they are the words avoidance and hanging. Not hanging in the literal sense where someone's hanging by their neck, but when you leave someone hanging. And then you avoid calling them or getting back to them to let them know what happened to you. So, with today's technology, with cell phones and whatnot, you don't even have to embarrass yourself or put yourself out there, you know, by getting confronted by that person that you've just left hanging. You can just say, hey, sorry, um, something came up, or whatever. Give some kind of an excuse, give some kind of something, show some manners. You know, the worst thing in the world is when you leave someone hanging and then their mind is left to imagine all kinds of crazy things. And believe me, my mind loves to create. So when I'm thinking to myself why a person left me hanging, believe me, I go directly to all the bad, sick things, okay, that could possibly happen. The innocent things that could possibly be why the person left me hanging, like someone got hurt or something came up with a kid, or I don't know, family member, friend, emergency, whatever. Those things come later. But unfortunately, my mind goes to the more sadistic type things, like they're being dishonest with me about something. So unfortunately, I have a bad history of that. But as I'm sure a lot of us do, and especially when someone leaves you hanging, uh, your mind automatically goes to the bad things. And then you start sweeping everything under the rug. Well, at least I don't sweep things under the rug. I mean, the other persons like to sweep things under the rug. And then all of a sudden, you start tripping on the stuff that's under the rug because the pile gets bigger and bigger. You don't always have to have a confrontation. Just because you've avoided somebody doesn't mean you have to be confronted by that person. I mean, personally, I'm into conversation. I don't like confrontation. However, sometimes confrontation is necessary, but I prefer to talk about things. And I think that, as adults, we should be responsible for how we treat other people. Honestly, if someone leaves me hanging, I have learned now that I'm older, I am not going to go chasing after somebody and say, hey, what happened to you? Or, whatever not. And I know damn well if there was something wrong with that person, I would have found out. But at the same time, I don't like I said, I don't like being left hanging. I'm not going to go chasing after them and say, hey, what happened to you? Because honestly, that's not my job. I'm not that person's babysitter. Yes, so on the other hand, I'm going to sit here and kind of stew about it. My mind's going to get creative. I'm going to think of all these crazy things until they get back to me, and either they, soothe my imagination with some kind of a lie or some kind of something, that excuse that sounds realistic. Until then, I'm just going to, be a nutcase pretty much basically in my head. But, at the same time, you've caused it. Any people of you that just don't want to, own up to things, or you just want to leave people like me hanging, you've asked for it. If we give you the cold shoulder, or if we're, distant or whatever, not all of us are mean. Personally, I'm not going to get the shotgun out or an arrow and shoot someone. I'm not going to start swearing. I just, honestly, sometimes I just think that we need to be considerate of other people's feelings is all, especially if you've made a plan with someone and then they cancel out. The least you could do is say, hey, I can't make it tonight. I'm not asking for anyone to donate a limb. I'm just asking for a little consideration. So, I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there, that might agree with me. I'm not asking for a full written signed confession about what you did last night. But at the same time, I don't like it when a whole evening goes by, a whole day, another whole evening, and then maybe another whole day is going to go by again. And what am I left to think? Well, anyways, all I can say is that if my brain goes nuts and I decide to, say a few snarky comments, unfortunately, you've kind of put that on yourself. Anyways, please, people, we all must try to be considerate and not leave people hanging and not avoid. I am not a saint with this. I am a sinner also. I've been avoiding my father for 3 days now. However, I will call him tonight after this. Have a good night.